11 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Welcome in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. What are you putting at me for, Wes?
I was just wondering if you were about to say the Gamecock Club Hour.
Well, when I host...
Were you about to?
I paused to make sure I said the right thing. Wanted to make sure I got it right because, yes, that transition from 10 to 11 can get me sometimes. I will inevitably call the halftime show the extra point. It happens. I'm in here for 6 hours a day, guys, on 4 different shows.
I'm just glad you admitted that was about to happen. But you caught yourself.
I'm a professional.
I was going to say, I mean, you're the equivalent of on scholarship here.
I am.
So you're not a freshman anymore with the show names.
No, I'm not. Well, we've changed some show names.
We have changed them. Yeah, that
also throws for a loop. Yeah. I will occasionally say Garnet Trust, but it's Gamecock Club Hour now, which appreciate Jory and Katie for hanging out with us there. That was a fun hour. Happy Halloween, guys.
Tyler, what you dressing up as, man?
You guys wouldn't know who this is, but Dominic Mysterio.
Say it again?
Dominic Mysterio.
You'd be correct.
Professional wrestler.
Is that Rey Mysterio's kid?
That's Rey Mysterio's kid. Dirty Dom.
You're gonna have a mask?
He doesn't wear a mask. He has he has a mullet and a very bad mustache. So I got to shave all this later when I get home.
You shaving it off?
Everything with a mustache. That's why I've been growing this out for like 2 weeks.
That'll be awesome.
Do you want me to come in with the mustache tomorrow?
Please send pics. Is all I got to say.
You want pics? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you were going to shave the mustache off
afterwards?
No, keep it.
You want me to keep it?
Yeah, please. That'll be entertaining.
You know what? I will keep the mustache, and if the Gamecocks win on Saturday, it'll be good luck, and I'll keep it as long as they keep winning. How about that?
I love it. Candy?
Your wife may nix this idea, depending on how it looks.
You at least got to take a picture for posterity.
Any kind of facial hair that I have, she's been cool with. I don't typically like to keep a lot because it bugs me because it gets itchy and scratchy, but any kind that I've had, she's been good with. So I don't think she'll have a problem with it.
We'll see.
Tyler, what's the favorite Halloween candy?
Reese's, of course, number one. Now, Jack and I had this debate earlier. Because Reese's throughout the year has different types of Reese's because depending on the holiday, they have like the footballs in the fall, the eggs in the spring, which are the elite version of a Reese's because it has the perfect chocolate peanut butter ratio. The Reese's pumpkin is good, not as good as the Reese's egg, but it's like number 2 for me. Good ratio there.
Yeah, I had something the kids brought home the other day that they made. It was a candy corn cookie.
Okay.
Not normally a big
candy corn cookie.
I'm not a big candy corn guy, but this was like a sugar cookie with candy corn, like, I don't know, built in.
Okay, like baked into it?
Baked into it. That's the word I was trying to come up with. You bake a cookie. And so it's baked in, and it's got like this crust, like a little bit of like not a crunch, but like a crust that forms.
Okay.
It's phenomenal.
Interesting.
Yeah. I should bring some if we still have them, but they didn't have many.
I'm not like anti-candy corn. I'm not going to go buy it, but if you gave me some, I'll eat it. Like, it's not as awful as some people make it out to be.
Yeah, the candy corn cookie, way better than regular candy corn. Anyway, maybe I'll bring some if we still have it.
I could get down with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, happy Halloween. Be safe out there, everyone. Send us pictures of your costumes if you have them. For this weekend, as we turn our attention to A&M, after we focused on basketball yesterday, this is a game that, we talked about it all season long, especially after playing these ranked teams. Carolina is just on this run, 0 for 9 against ranked opponents, going all the way back to the Gator Bowl against Notre Dame 2 years ago. You got to get over the hump. And this is a top 10 team in A&M coming to town. Number 1 in the SEC as of right now, coming off of a huge win against LSU in their home venue. They're coming into a tough environment on Saturday night. You've got a defense that we've talked about is, one you don't want to waste on a lost year. This feels like one. I know every game's a game you got to win, but this feels like one you really got to get this weekend.
Well, just the difference in 5-3 coming off of a massive win, a top 10 team in Texas A&M. Another, I thought my friend Chris Pascal, who writes a weekly column for us on Gamecock Central, he was kind of talking about how do fans see this game? And there are some fans that kind of feel like, all right, man, here we are getting up for another home game, just getting really excited. And then can you go play well and get a marquee win? And so there's kind of two things at play here. Like LSU game, of course, everybody got really hyped up for that one. And in a lot of ways, you did play well and were in a position to win the game. Of course, you lost it. Then Ole Miss coming off a bye week, everybody gets excited. You play like what? Hot garbage? Is that what Beamer said?
That was the quote. Yep.
Hot garbage in the game. And so there is a little sense of, all right, fans are getting up again. Can you go deliver on this one? Now, that being said, South Carolina at night at Williams-Brice Stadium against SEC opponents has been fantastic under Shane Beamer. The last time they lost at home against an SEC team at night was 2021. So, I think there's something special about that place. And so I'm sitting here. This is a really good A&M team. And the more you read into them, the more you look into them, you say, wow, they really are. They're legit. Like, they're not undefeated in SEC play by some fluke or by default. But you also look at it and say, from a South Carolina perspective, you don't want to keep missing on these opportunities. And in order to have a special season, which is still out there, by the way, in order to have the season you want, you're going to have to find a way to win some of these games that on paper you're maybe not favored. A&M a slight favorite in this one, but just what an opportunity for South Carolina if they can take advantage of it.
What's the line sitting at right now?
2.5 last time I checked.
That feels right. It feels right. I mean, I see these teams somewhat similar, in that we saw that last time South Carolina had a game. We went into the Oklahoma game saying, hey, there's some similarities here. Now, A&M, to be clear, better team than Oklahoma, bigger challenge. I think certainly they present a greater challenge on offense, even though they've had kind of a quarterback controversy right now. They are a better offense overall. I think they're much better on the offensive line. They have two quarterbacks that, while they've had some switches, they've been capable there. But the similarities in these two teams are, and I was watching Texas A&M, LSU, going back and watching the sky cam of that last night, and it really hit home for me. They're really good up front. South Carolina, really good up front, defensively, I mean. And so when I look at these teams play, I go, how is the other offensive line going to block the opposing defensive line? Like, that's the biggest question to me, right? And, A&M, they're going to challenge you. They've got Nick Scorton, who was one of the, he was one of the biggest offseason acquisitions in college football coming over from Purdue. And then I think they've got two or three former 5 stars up front. They just cycle those guys in and out like Halloween candy. I mean, no problem.
Right.
Physical, they're going to challenge you. Elko, really good defensive coach. So I look at these two teams as their strengths are both with their defense, and then just kind of being resourceful and making enough plays offensively is kind of been the identity.
And that's something else. And again, the South Carolina offensive line, as we talked about all season long, struggling. They're second worst in the nation, only in front of Oklahoma when it comes sacks allowed. And you talk about Scorton, you talk about Shamar Stewart, those two guys coming off the edge that are probably going to give South Carolina and Little Sellers a lot of issues on Saturday night. And we go back to 2 weeks ago where South Carolina finally played a game without a turnover against Oklahoma, but they were also playing with a 3-score lead for pretty much that entire game, to where the pressure wasn't on them to have to do a whole lot offensively. Well, that's probably not going to be the case on Saturday night. You would obviously love to have a multi-score lead, but I don't know if you're going to have that comfort at any point during this game. It feels like one of those ones that is going to come down to the wire. So how can you respond? And again, how can you protect Illinois Sellers, something you've not been able to do too well this season?
Yeah, guys, don't you think every single staff out there is kind of trying to walk that line? How much are we willing to do? How aggressive are we willing to be without turning the football over? And, this is something Dow Loggins even talked about yesterday. You don't want to get to the point that all you're talking about is protect the football, protect the football, protect the football. The moment that you just focus on that is when you end up doing the very thing you're trying not to do. Like, there's a psychological aspect there to just the second you're focusing on not doing something, then your brain thinks about that very thing. And so it's a kind of almost a self-fulfilling prophecy in that you sit there and say, don't turn the ball over. Eventually, you're going to turn the ball over. So I think for Carolina, it's just a matter of finding that fine line. Coaching the technique, some of the issues have been technique-based, I think, when you look at that mesh point. And, for Carolina, you just can't have those. Like, you're going to have interceptions from time to time. That's part of the game, especially with a young quarterback. To me, you have to eliminate the mesh point issues, and you have to eliminate the holding on to the ball and fumbling when you get hit. Now, are there going to be times you get hit from the blind side and you fumble? Yes, but you have to minimize those things by A, having that little clock go off in your head a little bit faster, and B, if you know a play is over, just living for the next down and protecting the football as opposed to kind of putting it in jeopardy while you're getting hit. So I think that's going to be fascinating. Like, fans inevitably get ticked off. Oh, why'd you run the ball off the middle? And I think there's always, you're trying to find that balance. Can you run your offense? Can you be aggressive, but not too aggressive, and protect the football while also moving the football?
Yeah, you don't want to neuter the offense. Something we say a lot is this team has to be able to throw the ball down the field. Think back to game 1, Old Dominion, what was missing? Not much of a downfield passing attack. And that's still kind of the case even, this late in the season. But they've shown the ability to do it at times. And that's what this team needs. What you need is, Oklahoma is kind of an outlier. You're probably not going to get 2 defensive touchdowns and another one that sets you up right in the red zone, basically, on the first 3 possessions. And that totally changes the game and how you have to administer it offensively. But this is a team that needs to lean on its defense, play well, take care of the ball. What we saw against Oklahoma was they were able to take care of the ball. Lenore Sellers really only put it in danger through the air once. Now, the defense and the way they played, the way they started, the cushion that they gave you, it helped. You're not going to have that in every game. Probably not going to have it in any other game. That was just such a wild circumstance. So when the game's on the line, when it's a close game throughout, which is probably what we all expect, guys, in this game, can you go out there and make some plays and fit the ball in and throw it downfield and have those design runs and scrambles and hang in the pocket to make a throw while still taking care of the ball? You have to thread that needle, and it's a tough thing to do.
We'll hear from Clayton White coming up next, what he said to the media yesterday about this A&M offense they're going to have to contain coming up on Saturday night. We'll get things rolling on Saturday at 2:30 with Gamecocks Game Day with myself and Terry Ford, sponsored by LexMed Orthopedics at the Party Lot of Sound and Images, going up until 4:30 whenever pregame kicks in for 7:30 kick on the game here in Columbia and in Myrtle Beach. More A&M as we continue on your Thursday on the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
Hey, this is Terry Ford, 107.5 The Game. We just want to invite you to a real special event coming up at the Dillon Columbia Supply Company. It's their fall open house, November 7th, noon to 2 p.m. It's your chance to meet their incredible team, check out their products and services, and get exclusive event day specials. Whether you're in the industrial, construction, steel, or safety business, they've got the tools and supplies you need. Again, Thursday, November 7th, noon to 2 at Dillon Columbia Supply Company, 320 Orchard Drive, West Columbia.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive. What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevy. It's back to cool season with big-time savings on Tahoe Suburbans and the all-new Chevy Traverse. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive. Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
Keep your heating and air system operating at tip-top performance.
The cleaner you keep the system, the more efficiently it's going to run for you.
We come out, we clean the coils, change the filters.
Visit allamericanheatingandair.com to receive an instant $25 coupon toward your system's maintenance agreement.
Helping your home and all that you need to put you at ease. When you need us, we're there. All American Heating and Air.
family help your family. We're all American.
Febreze.
As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings. Because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips and Grayson Griner here for our friends at Integrated Media. Grayson, now that you and the family have settled into life after years in the bigs, I hear you've added to what Integrated Media had already done around the house. Tell us what makes your system so much fun to use.
Yeah, Jay, Integrated Media has taken care of us from day one. Everything they do looks fantastic, everything they do sounds fantastic, and everything runs seamlessly when it comes to our smart home. In today's day and age of streaming everything, having a strong Wi-Fi connection throughout the house is critical, and Integrated Media is the best in the business at setting you and your family up with everything you could ever need.
Now, I don't know about you, but having an outdoor system that looks and sounds like the indoors is better than I could have imagined.
Yeah, one of the perks of living in the Midlands of South Carolina is enjoying time outdoors virtually year-round. From weatherproof mounted televisions to outdoor speaker systems, Integrated Media is the standard when it comes to outdoor entertainment. They're the only people I would ever recommend when it comes to outfitting your smart home indoors or out.
Work with the best in the business, and that's our friends at Integrated Media. Grayson and I can't recommend them highly enough. See their work on Facebook and Instagram, then call them up at 803-948-8327 and get Integrated Media into your home today.
My therapist had told me that I needed to go to AA meetings. I didn't want to go to AA, but I did, and it wasn't what I expected. It was friendly. I could feel the happiness.
Visit aacolumbia.org for more information and to find an AA meeting near you. Are you passionate about helping children and families? Turn that passion into results. New child welfare case managers with the South Carolina Department of Social Services can earn a starting salary of at least $44,825 with additional salary increases for BSW and MSW degrees and annual increases after 1 year of service. Learn more at dss.sc.gov. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour
with Chris Clark, Wes Mitchell, and Tyler Head
on the Game Network.
One, your hats off to them. They do what they do. Some offenses try to get really cute pre-snap, and some offenses don't. Some offenses line up and say let's play. They're kind of more of a let's play offense. They obviously got some motions, some short motions, some orbits, some jets. They do most of the motions, but that's not their top priority. Their top priority is to put the ball in their football hand, put the ball in the hands of their best players, and let them go to work.
Welcome back in Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler West and Chris along with you on your Thursday on the game. That was Clayton White yesterday talking to the media ahead of Saturday night's game against A&M, and what they really like to do on that A&M offense is run the football. One of the best in the SEC at doing that. Le'Veon Moss, third in the league in total rushing yards. And obviously we had Marcel Reed in there. He's able to certainly add that running element to the quarterback spot where we assume he'll be the starter on Saturday night, though we're probably going to have to find out when we get there on Saturday.
Run the ball.
That's their objective.
They're also very good inside the 20. That was something Shane Beamer mentioned.
When their defense gets them the ball at the 20,
well, yeah,
they did against LSU.
That too. Typically, if you run the football well, I feel like it's a pretty good sign. You're going to be pretty good at goal line offense. Now, that's not always the case. I think for a while we saw some of those like spread to run teams that were very finesse would get down there and sort of struggle when they got into that area where the field is compressed and you got a bunch of linebackers extra in the box. But, guys, you look at this A&M team, they do the things well that old school football heads would say are the way you win football games. And that is, of course, stop the run and run the football. And, you know, it was mentioned, and it sounded like Clayton White kind of agreed that, hey, they're not really trying to shock you or surprise you or give you 1,000 different looks on offense. They're going to just line up and run the football. Now, you would not have believed that from watching LSU try to get out there and stop Marcel Reed. But, again, I maintain that that's the best thing that could have happened for South Carolina, because you got plenty of film on both these guys. And like Shane Beamer even said, this is not like this is the first time Marcel Reed has played. It's not like he just has been waiting on the bench and they unveiled him this past week and boom, this is how good he is. You know, Carolina has to play him, but he has to play this Carolina defense. And they have been obviously chasing around Lenora Sellers when they play good on good, Robbie Ashford in practice as well. And they've faced quarterbacks in games that clearly are athletic and can move the football on the ground as well. So it's going to be an interesting battle. I look at it more like, all right, what like Chris said, what can each offensive line do against the other's defensive front? Because I think you have two really good ones on both sides. But if you're Clayton White, you got to feel good about your guys' chances, in my opinion, to slow these guys down.
Yeah, it was, you know, again, like I said earlier, I watched the A&M LSU game on the Skycast last night, and it was bizarre. It really was. You know, I felt like LSU's defense is better now than they were when they played against South Carolina. Remember, they had some big issues stopping the run against the Gamecocks with two explosive runs from Rocket Sanders and Lenora Sellers for touchdowns. What were those, 66, 75 yards? So when Reed comes into the game, I think they're down 17-7. A&M is. I think they had just gotten that turnover, right? And so it would have been a situation that made sense to put him in as a changeup anyway, because they were either in the red zone or very close. But they put him in, and I think he scored on the first time he touched the ball.
It was. They were within the 10 or 15-yard line. It was pretty close to the goal line.
And then they just rolled with it. I don't know if their plan was to roll with him for the rest of the game or that was a changeup, but whatever it was, that they decided, hey, that looked pretty good. Let's stick with that. And, you know, sometimes it was the threat of the zone read, right, with a give to the running back. That first play that Reed ran, they didn't even try to – they just completely crashed down on the back. He's a slippery runner, you know. He's got some speed. He's got vision. He can kind of slip through the cracks pretty good in the open field. Only had to throw the ball twice, you know. And so it was kind of bizarre that LSU wasn't able to make some type of adjustment. From what I saw – they just blocked it up well. Reed made the correct reads in terms of being able to pull it or being able to give it. So, you know, I don't think it will surprise South Carolina that he's in the game, especially because not only did he do that against LSU, he started multiple games literally this season.
And whether it is Marcel Reed or Connor Wegman, or you see both those guys on Saturday, biggest thing is getting pressure on them. And this is a very good offensive line that Texas A&M brings, only giving up 11 sacks so far this season. That's among the best in the nation. Their strength is at their tackle spots with Trey Zune and Demetrius Crownover. Neither one of those guys has allowed a sack so far this year. But when Reed and Wegman have been pressured, they are both pretty bad when completing those throws. Marcel Reed specifically has only completed 21% of his passes when pressured, and Connor Wegman only 40% completions when he's been put under pressure as well. So not easy to get at those guys, but when you do have an effect.
Early buy or sell.
Oh,
do we see both quarterbacks?
Ooh,
I wondered that.
I'll buy that.
You buy it?
I think you probably start off with Marcel Reed, and if Carolina can get the pressure we think they can, I think eventually you're just going to have to throw the football, and you're going to have to turn to Wegman at that point.
Yeah, I tend to think we're going to see both of them as well. You know, now I think if Carolina's able to get the pressure up front that we think they can, we think they will, do you not want that rushing ability in there? So I think a lot of it may depend on game flow. Like if Carolina can get a lead, then certainly you're going to have to feel like you have to go throw the football if you are Texas A&M. And, Wakeman has not been bad this year. It just he did look completely off.
He was rattled.
Looked amazing against Missouri a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. He was very off kilter.
Missouri's not as good as we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year, but still, good performance.
Yeah, I mean, this is not an LSU defense that we thought was going to be like one of the best in the SEC, and they had him, like Chris said, completely rattled in this game. So, I mean, that's definitely one of the underlying storylines for this game is what exactly does their plan at quarterback look like? I think we're all assuming Marcel Reed's going to start. I think in theory, you'd rather just have him, if you're them, you'd rather just have him go and play well and just be the guy and not, spur your love to do the quarterback shuffle, but most coaches would very much prefer to just go play a quarterback. And I think when their quote-unquote running quarterback starts, you typically do not see a change unless things have gone bad. If the passing quarterback starts, you'll still sometimes see the running quarterback in those like specific situations, maybe goal line, maybe 3rd and short, 4th and short, something like that. You'll see those packages. But it typically does not seem like it's the other way around. If the kind of dual threat quarterback, so to speak, goes first, unless things go bad, that's who they kind of stick with, it seems like.
Yeah, and it's been interesting that Elko didn't say, hey, we're going with Reed. Now, my question is, are they legitimately planning on playing them both, or is it a little gamesmanship because there's no reason?
Well, he also said if he knew, he wouldn't say.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I kind of took that to mean.
But why didn't he just say, I'm not saying? I don't know. It was just interesting. Yeah. But I think, look, another thought I had, watching. Now, Wigman could come out and play great. He to your point, Wes, he had not looked like he did against LSU at other points of the season. But if I'm Mike Elko and the offensive staff, Colin Klein there at A&M, you're looking back at the latest data that you have for Connor Wigman struggling against the pass rush, not seeing the field well. That does not seem to be a great recipe against South Carolina. At the same time, you can't come out and say, well, we'll just run zone read all game and win. Maybe it worked against LSU later with your defense playing great, getting 3 turnovers in the second half. It probably depends on game flow. I have a feeling that they're either going to need to try to throw the football more or we might see Connor Wigman in the game too, so it'll be interesting.
With our usual Make Your Case as the Thursday edition of the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs rolls on here on The Game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach.
The Game Network.
We all love streaking. I mean, streaming. Until we have to pay for it. But not when you stream The Game.
And how much does it cost?
It's free. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the 107.5 The Game app. And stream for no charge. And listen for no charge.
All right, I want to tell everybody about a great option for lunch, dinner, or catering for the big game. It's our friends over at Firehouse Subs. Shout out to Larry Chandler, owner-operator. He'll be back at the A&M game this weekend. He's fired up. He was at Alabama. He was at Oklahoma. I actually ran into him on both of those trips. Big South Carolina guy, great supporter of the program, and owner-operator of all now 15 locations of Firehouse Subs all around the Midlands. FirehouseSubs.com, or my favorite method, the Firehouse Subs app. That will help you find the closest location near you, wherever you are in the Midlands. There is a Firehouse Subs closest to you. That number 15 actually set to grow here soon to, I think, 17. So even more options for Firehouse Subs. Check out the new Thanksgiving turkey sub, limited time offering. We had it here in Columbia last year. It's now nationwide. It's back. Go check it out. It's delicious. Or any of your Firehouse Subs favorites. FirehouseSubs.com or the app to earn yourself rewards toward future purchases.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
The Gamecock Go Pass is back. For only $20 a month, you'll receive access to all non-conference football games, most men's and women's basketball and baseball games, and all softball, soccer, and volleyball games. To learn more about the Gamecock Go Pass, visit thegamecockclub.com/go.
Need a roof? Trust Crescent Construction. With over 20,000 roofs installed and counting, they've got the experience you need. They specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, and general contracting. Visit CrescentCarolina.com today for free estimates and free inspections. That's right, no cost, no commitment. Crescent Construction, quality you can count on. For all your roofing and construction needs, visit CrescentCarolina.com now.
Palmetto Propane, a family-owned company, has been delivering propane to homes and businesses for more than 65 years. With expert installation and exceptional service, they are proud to be South Carolina's leading propane and fuel provider. Whether you need energy-efficient propane appliances for your home or reliable fuels to run your business, Palmetto Propane delivers. Experience the difference. Visit palmettopropane.com today. That's palmettopropane.com.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Billshappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Hey, this is Ray.
And Mary Ann with Absolute Glass.
We've been blessed to serve the Midlands glass needs for 20 years.
We have been fortunate enough to help thousands of customers with the best glass service in town, in our store, and all over the Midlands.
Sure, we can fix your windshield, usually at no cost to you.
But at Absolute Glass, we can also care for all your other glass needs, too.
Home windows, shower doors, tabletops, shelving, storefronts, and all your commercial needs.
Contact us at 803-951-7200 or at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Just remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet
on the Game Network.
Welcome back in. Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler Head, West Metro, Chris Clark, along with you. On your Thursday, as we always like to do in the middle of the week, it's time to hit a Make Your Case. So, would we all agree that so far this year, Lenore Seller's best game overall would be the Alabama game a couple weeks ago? Just for purely overall game in all facets, would that be the best game in your opinion? This isn't the Make Your Case question. I'm just asking in general here.
I don't know if I would blindly agree to that.
Yeah, you know, the argument would be the turnovers, right?
Right. He's not played a perfect game to this point this year.
What about Oklahoma?
Well, it didn't turn the ball over, but it wasn't the most...
Didn't need to be.
Didn't need to be, right.
I make an argument for Oklahoma. Because he just did what you needed.
Okay.
You know?
I think I would ultimately settle on probably Alabama, even with the turnovers.
Okay. That being said, with still 5 more games left to go, make your case. Either Lenore Sellers has played his best game so far or has not played his best game so far this year. And this is overall. This isn't one specific category. Passing, rushing, turnovers, everything.
Yeah, I definitely think along the way, the fact that not that it's going to be linear, that you're going to get better every week. Like, these are athletes. There's going to be ups and downs. They're still humans. But I think when you look at what's left, probably an opportunity coming off of a bye week where you actually got to do some self-scouting work and actually practice as a young quarterback as opposed to just trying to get healthy. Like, I'm not saying that it's Saturday. I think that's a pretty good defense, but I would think one of these final games, you're going to see maybe Sellers just go off and kind of have that mega game. I mean, shoot, I don't know that Clemson's defense is quite what we've seen them be during that stretch where they were just borderline impossible to move the football on. So I would say it's pretty easy to me that he's going to have maybe a couple of games better than what he's had.
Yeah, that's where my head went. Because you could say, no, he'll have a better game for sure because he's just going to get better because I think he has improved from game one until now. But then you always have to consider the opponent, He
didn't get to play Akron.
Didn't get to play Akron.
Which would have been like a stat stuff.
Yeah, didn't get to play Akron.
But he will get to play Wofford.
We'll get to play Wofford. Can't say he's going to get to play Vandy. That'll be more challenging than originally thought. But overall, I would say, yeah. When you add it all together, I think he will continue to get better. Will there still be ups and downs? Yes. Not linear, like you said, Wes. But I think when you combine the fact that he's going to be a different player in Game 12 than he was Game 1, even throwing in opponents, some that are going to be tougher than others defensively and present challenges, I would say yes.
I look at, and funny you mentioned Vanderbilt, I actually kind of look at that game as maybe one that he can have a lot of success. And that's a Vanderbilt team that they themselves are very good and efficient on offense, led by Diego Pavia. But their defense, opportunistic as they do generate takeaways. But when it comes to defending the rush and defending the pass, not overall great. They're 9th against the rush in the SEC and 11th against the pass. So I kind of see that as maybe the opportunity here in a couple weeks for him to really have his best overall game from a statistic standpoint in all those major categories. And hopefully he can avoid the turnovers. And I look at last time out against Oklahoma, where again, they weren't really under a lot of pressure because they had a multi-score lead throughout that entire game, but making, for the most part, smart decisions throughout that game to not put the ball in harm's way, not, try and fling it as you're going to the ground like you did against Alabama. I really hope that was a huge learning point for him that he can take and use that going forward. And look, he's not going to make the right choice every single time, but more often than not to do those kind of things as opposed to what he's done earlier on in the year.
Well, I think there's some pressure when you're up so big in a game, basically not to screw it up, and I think it can be hard sometimes because you're going out there saying, hey, we're trying to run the offense, but don't turn the ball over. Don't let them back in this game. And so sometimes that can either be something where because you try so hard not to turn the ball over that you end up doing it anyway because you're not playing freely, or you're not taking what I would call like controlled risks. Like there has to be some level of risk in the passing game, and you really don't want to take away what is Sellers' best quality, and that is just his playmaking, natural movement ability, and ability to throw the football on the run and do all these different things. I mean, he is a couple of inches away from 2 additional just massive plays in these games we've seen. I'm thinking, of course, one of the Gage Larverdin throw that I still could not see from the camera angles exactly who that was on in terms of, like, should it have been caught? Should it have been a little bit better throw? I still don't know. Did the ball get misjudged a little bit in the air, or was it more just he needs to make a better throw? I don't know. But then even against Oklahoma, there's a ball to Mike Smith that is almost a carbon copy in terms of rolling away, flicking the ball out there. And so there's been a couple of plays that have been there that just have not hit that I would say, completely change his stats to this point and completely change the feeling around what he's done in terms of playmaking ability. So can he make a couple of those plays during this final stretch that are plays that we remember? Those are memorable plays that can change games.
Yeah, I think we also got to consider. Remember when last year Spencer Rattler were like, man, look at what Spencer is doing given the circumstances, right? He's got one really reliable receiver in Xavier Legette, who ended up being a first-rounder, had a great year. He's got an offensive line that's struggling, and he's got an inconsistent run game. Now, fast forward to this year, the offensive line, what do we say? It's better, It's still a struggle in pass protection
compared to where it was a year ago.
Right.
Better, but not by much.
It's not. It has not taken a significant leap in pass protection.
Right.
The run game is better than it was last year because of the quarterback and the personnel, but not. It has not probably taken as big of a leap as we thought.
For how important it is to your offense with what your game plan is, it is not where it needs to be.
You have more guys who are capable at receiver, but you still have major questions there. You haven't had a big significant breakout there. So my point is, and you've got a freshman. So I feel like with some of the turnovers and things, like sometimes we leave out, this isn't an ideal situation for a first-year starter redshirt freshman to be in.
Right.
If he had walked into a situation where you've got, an offensive line that is outstanding, a run game, and 2 or 3 just junior, senior, bona fide, proven receivers, that's a different ball game, right? So now some of the things, even given that, are very correctable for Lenoris. Some of the fumbles, the exchange issues, right? Those don't have anything to do with the receivers that you do or don't have. But is there some type of pressure there? I don't know. But I do think it's important to remember that and contextualize it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, we'll see what he's able to do this weekend against another tough SEC defense in Texas A&M, and I think there's a lot of value as well. And I talked about this earlier on in the week, where he was obviously injured going into the bye after the Akron game before they came out and played Ole Miss. And again, we're not at practice; we don't know how much he was participating in those couple days leading up, but we know there was some kind of degree of holding on and making sure you didn't want to get him hurt further than what he already was. So now you have a full 2 weeks to prepare for A&M, where he is healthy. He's got all of his receivers back now. Again, I don't know how much that's going to help, but I think it's going to take some kind of step forward, right?
Yeah, I think it's valuable. I think it definitely helps. Like, we don't know how much it will help in the context of, hey, A&M's defense is really good. Like, will it help in terms of you're going to score 35 points this weekend? I don't know, but does it help in terms of these are valuable reps? You get Jarrett, all signs are you're going to get Jared Brown back. He was listed officially as probable on the SEC player availability report from yesterday. We'll get a note from Beamer today, potentially, for a call-in show, and then, of course, another availability report tonight. I would imagine, you would think, without a setback, eventually Jared Brown, you hope, is not even going to be listed on that thing at all. And so I thought Dow Loggins had some interesting things talking about just reincorporating Jared Brown into the mix. I think you would still love, what would help Sellers more than anything, you would love if in these final 5 games you get just a little bit more continuity in terms of, hey, these are the top 3 wide receivers. Mm-hmm. Hey, these are the next 2 or 3 wide receivers. This guy is playing this spot. And what I mean by that is like your different spots on the field. Like we've seen on the depth chart, for example, quick example, like Gage Larvin and Drake Jacobs listed as the same wide receiver spot, but then you go back, one of the games they're starting on the field at the same time. So obviously they're having to play different receiver spots. Mazio has primarily played like the slot, but you really love to settle those guys in. Hey, this is the guy on my left, this is the guy on my right on the outside, this is the guy in the slot. Yes, there's going to be a rotation, but I have a little bit better continuity in who's running what routes, who's going to be where on the field. Those little just timing things that only come with time, I think also can come into play if you are able to use this final month of the year to sort of just build that continuity.
Again, as Wes mentioned, Coach Beamer coming up tonight. Carolina calls 6 o'clock right here on the game in Columbia and in Myrtle Beach. Come back and wrap up today's edition of the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. The Panthers are heading to Germany. What is Xavier Legette going to eat this weekend? We'll hit that coming up next here on the game.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network.
It's back! The Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest. Just go to 1075thegame.com and register. The pot starts at $100. Every week it increases $100 if Carolina doesn't score a special teams touchdown. But if the Gamecocks do score a special teams touchdown, you could win the pool. Again, just go to 1075thegame.com and register. It's the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest from 1075 The Game.
This is Maggie Gray with a Sports Minute. One of the biggest games of the weekend, the Packers hosting the Detroit Lions with a share of first place in the NFC North on the line. Jordan Love's groin injury adds a wrinkle, but the Green Bay quarterback says it's realistic he will play on Sunday. This looks like the most talented division top to bottom in the NFL, and for Green Bay to keep pace with the Lions, they need their starter on Sunday in Lambeau. I'm Maggie. Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
It's your broker, Benji Getzy. 6 straight weeks of declining rates. Now is the time. V8 30-year fixed, 4.8%, APR 5.2. 30-year conventional, 5.5%, APR 5.8. Second home investors, 6.4%. DSCR and fix and flip financing, 6.9%, APR 7.3. So visit Buford.mortgage for the fastest rate quotes in the industry, available 24/7. Thanks for shopping your rate with Buford Lending. We want to be your broker.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in a rinse straight. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Since 1963, Takeuchi has been a pioneer in the compact construction industry, having developed the world's first compact excavator in 1971 and the world's first compact rubber track loader in 1986. Takeuchi continues to revolutionize the industry through innovative technology and listening to customer needs. Now you can partner with a truly global leader by contacting TEC Rental Equipment in West Columbia, Orangeburg, and Somerville. From world first to world leader, Takeuchi.
It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour
with Chris Clark, Wes Mitchell, and Tyler Head
on the Game Network.
Welcome back in. Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler, Wes, and Chris along with you on your Thursday here on the Game. This weekend, the Panthers and Giants will be playing in Germany. Watch that at 9:30 on the NFL Network. I know that's not going to be the most appealing game to a lot of people, but it gave us the opportunity to hear about Xavier Legette's culinary taste. Not a fan of too many foods, and he gave us a little bit of insight on just how picky of an eater he was yesterday. Cut number 26 here, Dave.
I just hope they got some good food. I'm a picky eater, so I just hope they got something I can eat.
They have good chocolate.
I don't eat candy like that.
But what are your no-goes? You say you're a picky eater. What are your no-goes?
Yeah, I don't eat seafood. I don't eat like peppers and onions and all that. I I don't really eat vegetables like that.
What? You eat like pizza?
Yeah, and like I just started eating asparagus. I eat like string beans and green peas. But
That's not a surprise for some reason. Bacon grease? Do they have to be cooked in bacon grease?
No. It ain't like that.
Pasta?
Yeah, I eat some pasta.
Okay.
Yeah, I eat some pasta.
Chicken, steak, all the regular stuff.
Yeah, all
no
the regular.
Seafood though?
No, I'm allergic.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll give you that one.
Wes, you're reacting as if you had not already heard that. Is that correct?
I hadn't heard the whole thing. I heard a cut-off version.
I don't think anybody was prepared for the way he pronounced asparagus and allergic.
Well, I gotta be honest. I was struggling to understand asparagus, like what he said. What was it? Who had the clip on the old MTV show?
Oh, of Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, he had never had asparagus before.
Right. What is that?
What's that?
Man, that did not disappoint. Tyler, aren't you a pretty picky eater?
No.
You're not?
No, Tyler eats like anything.
I eat everything.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that.
Like the anti-picky.
Who's a picky? Well, we know Colin. Our buddy Colin's a picky
gosh.
eater.
Is he?
You don't remember his takes?
Yeah.
They're terrible.
My man loves some chicken nuggets. Not there's anything wrong with that.
Well, Colin was he was almost offended about the like if you saw the video too, he was almost offended by the candy accusation too. I don't eat candy like that.
Can't like that. Not a Halloween
His
guy.
body's a temple.
Well, we do know he eats green peas and string beans.
String beans.
But
which I don't.
But I mean, those are vegetables technically. He said he didn't really eat vegetables, but that's a couple of
Well,
them.
he just started.
It's just started.
I took it as like those are the only two.
I guess
Kinda.
he's not to the. I guess
He's not Al Michaels.
I was gonna say he was at the Al Michaels level. By the way, did you guys see the stat last week that they put up on Thursday Night Football where they showed because they were in New York? Yeah, I think they were in New York, and they showed some steakhouse that he goes to all the time. They're like steaks consumed, thousands, vegetables
Lots.
consumed, zero.
That was pretty good.
Well, Xavier's a hunter, so I wonder what the missed opportunity. What's the weirdest meat that he's eaten? Like he's surely eaten like
definitely squirrel, that kind of
probably
stuff.
Eaten some squirrel, some rabbit.
Yeah.
Maybe him and Josh Simon. They might have eaten some rabbit together last season. Deer, venison, obviously. You like venison, Tyler?
I do.
Okay.
We talked about that earlier.
It's been a oddly venison-heavy show today.
That's not the first reference to.
No, because Jory, who's from Illinois, had never had it before, and apparently Katie cooks everything with it.
The group.
So, I mean, it is a versatile.
It is very lean. It's not a lot of fat in there.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it last year and things like Spencer had one and Dow Loggins had one, but like I feel like it's gone to the next level with him being in the NFL.
I feel like anytime he did a presser here, at least last year, he was always paired up with Spencer, and Spencer, did most of the talking, and Xavier would throw in a word here or there, but for the most part, he didn't really have to elaborate on things, and obviously when you're in the NFL, you're doing a lot more media stuff, so I think I'm sure he's got media people helping him out with this. He's come out of his shell a little bit more, and again, we all do this because we love and are entertained by it, but I think the entire league is taking a liking to Xavier Legette.
Well, it went national, kind of, I feel like. But yeah, he's obviously off to a good start on the field in his career as well, and I think it's kind of been his brand a little bit. Like I think this can be good for him as well in terms of building and kind of off the field brand too.
Well, and look, he's a good guy. You just want to see him succeed. Obviously, has an incredible story of where he's gotten up to this point, and I'm glad everybody's taking a liking to him, even if he is a bit of a picky eater. That'll do for the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. We've got our final thoughts tomorrow ahead of the A&M game as your Football Friday comes your way coming up tomorrow. Halftime show, myself, Terry Ford, up next on your Thursday here in the game.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Bill Gunner for Charwood Golf Club, one of the Midland's hidden secrets. You need to get out there today, especially if you're not at Willie B this fall enjoying a great atmosphere at a football game. Enjoy the great atmosphere at Charwood Golf Club. Schedule a tee time today, 803-755-2000. Schedule that tee time. Go visit the Wood today and enjoy, again, a great 18-hole layout in a fantastic, relaxed environment. That number again, 803-755-2000. Call today and schedule a tee time.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for Integrated Media. You know they've been the Midland's leader in home theater for the past 2 decades. From installation of amazing 4K televisions and surround sound systems to Wi-Fi that works everywhere, no one else compares to their customer service and quality. And now the guys at Integrated Media have expanded their brand to provide a state-of-the-art golf simulator experience next to their offices in Chapin. Pro Swing is what it's called. The golf simulators by Golf Zone have automatic tees. You don't have to bend over to set up your next shot. Amazing swing plate moving up to 24 different directions for a truly lifelike experience. The playing surface has simulated greenside and fairway bunkers, even 2 different cuts of rough to bring a real-life experience inside with 68 degrees of air conditioning every day. One golfer can play 18 holes in about an hour, 2 in 2. With selections of non-alcoholic drinks, domestic, and craft beer, it's fun for the entire family. To book a tee time or to get golf lesson packages, visit ProSwingColumbia.com or call 803-948-8327. Have a blast with Pro Swing and Integrated Media.
The Firehouse Captain's Club features their signature Captain Sorensen's hot sauce and their new Firehouse Hero Sauce, along with savory oven-roasted chicken, melted pepper jack cheese, crushed red pepper flakes, crispy smoky bacon, lettuce, tomato, and onions. Be sure to try the Captain's Club today at any one of the 14 Midlands Firehouse locations. Order ahead with the Rapid Rescue to go. But if a sampling platter is more your style, get all